Please give a warm welcome to Allie B.
Hey y'all, how's it going? This is really loud. Alright, so this poem I wrote for the performance studies class, which is so much fun. So if you haven't taken it and you're in school, take it. It's so much fun. So this poem is called Daisy. I was small and wild, but the ever-longing fear of not being good enough raced through every inch of my princess and pirate ship days. I wanted to be fearless. I wanted to be relentless. I wanted to be full of hope and something greater than the chains that you bound me in. And I know you didn't want me in those chains, but you put me there anyways. Before, you were my roots. You were my world, the one who read me bedtime stories, who imagined that we lived in a big, bright, beautiful Disney world with Ariel and Sebastian, Snow White and the Dwarfs, Cinderella and Prince Charming. A world that should have never been stolen away by a wicked witch or evil stepsisters. But somewhere in my fairy tale, you became the wicked witch and the evil stepsister. You wouldn't allow me to spread my wings far enough in confidence to face the sun and sing with the birds. Why wouldn't you let me be free? As a small girl, I always dug deep into the moist ground, thirsting for water to replenish my broken spirit. I searched for you, I searched up and down for you, but all I could ever find were old memories on dusty shelves that had been sitting there for years. Evil overtook your grace, your strength, and your beautiful spirit in these mind-altering ways, left you feeling empty and I feeling like I would never be good enough. You broke me. You made me believe that you didn't love me. But I know that you felt love. Because there was always a prince that loved you. There was always addiction that loved you. And I know that I never stopped loving you. Thank you.
All right, our next performer, please welcome to the stage, Jose Ramos!
Let me stand up for you. Pray. Just pray. I am kneeling in the church pews trying hard to find the connection with the almighty being that I can only trust is holding the other end of the frail string and cup telephone. My phone call is interrupted as I look over and see the white-haired, God-fearing woman who is sobbing and feeling the spirit. I have never had the chance to meet her, but I have seen her outside of church talking about how homos should be struck dead because how can someone sin so deeply and still have favor in God's eyes? I don't know about you, but I don't remember reading in the good book that the misleading opinion of a self-righteous, white-haired hypocrite is what decides who has favor. What I do know is that God has a way of smashing us with reminders that favor is paid with humble. This thought crashes in my mind as I feel myself praying that she smashes into a curb, flips over on the side of the road only to be rescued from the burning furnace by two newly married homos on their way to their honeymoon. Pray. Just pray. I move pews in an attempt to gain better reception and reestablish connection, and my mind is all of a sudden flooded with facts and questions, but I can't find the arc to keep me afloat. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, more people die of suicide than car accidents. And the one question that comes to mind is how many of these people came up to a loved one and asked them for advice and all they were told was pray. Just pray. How many of these people needed more advice than just pray about the depression that they felt when they didn't even understand what their bodies were asking them to do? How many of these people simply needed someone to listen to them? Just listen. How many of these people were told by some self-righteous, white-haired, hypocrite lady when all they were looking for was someone to raise them up and give them a hug and tell them that someone gave a damn about what was happening in their lives? How many people found only a chair to raise them up from their depression? How many people found only a rope to hug their neck? How many people found that the only thing that was there to support them was a beam on the ceiling because it at least gave a damn? How many of these people decided to take the advice to pray and found the answer in the trinity of beam, chair, and rope? What if people just stopped being afraid to lend out a helping hand? What if people just started being more accepting that God created the rainbow and saw favor in it? What if prayer is supposed to be followed by action? But it's okay. Just pray.
Our next performer to the stage, Diana McGrean.
Click, shh, click, shh, click, shh. The revolution will not be televised. Our evolution will not be televised. Our de-evolution will be televised. We tune in to tune out. We tune in to tune out. We tune in to the radio and blast music on our stereo as the frequency of the melody fades, fighting to get through polluted airwaves. What's going on, Marvin Gaye? That I'd rather tune into the radio to forget the scenarios of global change and destruction, to tune out my planet's plot because they paid Paradise and put in a parking lot. But now back to our regularly scheduled program. We tune in to tune out. We tune in to tune out. We tune out our computers and our mobile devices, to our apps and our tweets, to our personal vices. We read the hashtag messages on the wall paper. In 100 characters or less, scientists and scholars are trying to confess that the human race must turn away from Facebook and take a look at the world around us. Global warming, wildfires, tropical storms, and droughts. The fact that 1/4 of the Earth's species will be heading for extinction by 2050. You with me? Nah, this stuff isn't entertaining. You don't want to think, so you click, click, click to a different link. And now a message from our sponsors. We tune in to tune out. We tune in to tune out. We turn on our televisions because sometimes we want to go where everybody knows our name, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. But you silly rabbits, these tricks are for kids. You can no longer tune in to tune out. The best part of waking up isn't Folgers in your cup. It is the clean water in your shower that you let waste and run for an hour. There should be no hesitation in conservation. Despite what you might think, the planet will not take a licking and keep on ticking. Our Earth is in ding, 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 ding. And the correct answer is you. The real thing is not buying the world a Coke in a plastic container and teaching to sing in perfect harmony. Let's get out of this twilight zone and boldly go where no man has gone before. Let's tune out our radios and tune into the effects of greenhouse gases. Let's tune out our computers and mobile devices and tune into our personal carbon footprints. Let's tune out our television transmissions and tune into the fact that heat-trapping emissions aren't reduced, our average temperatures will increase, and hundreds of animals will soon be deceased. Stay tuned for this important message, but we still just tune in to tune out. Click. Shh.
Please welcome our next performer to the stage, Haley Bay.
There's so many of you. All right. Some poems you write and they just don't have names, but this poem's name is called Dear Timmy. I've written hundreds of letters I'll never send. Letters of congratulations and condolence. Letters to ones that are lost. Letters for apologizing for things that I've done, and letters for apologizing for things that have no consequence to me. I've written prose to a dead man. I've written to the Lost Boys. I've written to the President and the Pope. But I never have enough words for what I truly need to say. I've written to the boys staring into the refrigerator on the billboard on my way home from work that says 1 in 5 kids in this town is starving. In a culture obsessed with how many calories are in a $9 salad, how do we miss 1 in 5? I write my letters from such a place of privilege. How do I even pretend to know what it's like to go to bed hungry? How do I participate in a culture that misses 1 in 5, but never breakfast or a $5 coffee? How do I not have the right words for that boy? Dear Timmy, try harder than your parents did. Dear Timmy, one day you won't be stuck as a little kid. Dear Timmy, it's not fair that you don't have any underwear. How do I look at the back of Timmy's skinny head driving home from work, eating Frosties dipped in French fries? I've written thousands of letters I'll never send. Letters of forgiveness and sorrow, demanding action, demanding that 1 in 5 is too many. Any is too many.
This next performer, y'all might enjoy a little bit. Here we go. Please give a warm welcome to Stacia Kendrick.
only reason I love you. The only reason I love you is because I realize when I think about my future, I can't imagine taking another breath without you in my presence. Another tribulation without you as my blessing. Another storm without you there to embrace my rain after life's pain. And the only reason why I love you is because I realize I love you. I feel you. I love you. I breathe you. I am you. You see, you believed in me even when I was so blinded by my insecurities, I couldn't believe in myself. You made my light shine so bright that the darkness is something I no longer fear. And now I'm stuck. And somehow I'm in this tunnel, but I still hear your voice, so I know you're there. I know there's light. Your spirit surrounds my atmosphere with angelic melodies, as if you were a choir of angels singing in front of God himself, as he was your audience. And now I'm no longer lost. I see you. I see you standing right in front of me. Your light, my lighthouse you've prepared. And the only reason I love you is because I realized you were you all along. You were standing right in front of me, and I was you. And the only reason God gave me eyes was to see you in my dreams.
If you will please, give a warm welcome for our next performer, Jenny the Beast!
This is a poem called Threesome. Once upon a time, fear and doubt were not my bedfellows. Once upon a time, they were nothings but the goblet in my closet and the monster under my bed. Once upon a time, they would hiss their hateful love song from around my door-hung coats and between my kicked-under-the-bed shoes. Once upon a time, that was all they could do. Once upon a time, nearer to now, they could not touch me. The goblin would creep out of my rows of starched, suspended slacks. The monster would on knobbled legs that were bent in too many places. The monster would slink from between my piles of fallen before-bed books on limbs that moved without bones inside them. Together they would crouch, no longer reduced to shadows and eyes and hisses half hidden around doors and under beds. Now they were scaled and warty, with snouts and claws that reached but didn't touch because they couldn't touch. Not yet. They would stay crouched beside me to whisper their vile rhymes into my sleeping ears until I woke and sent them fleeing back to the dark corners of my child's room, leaving me alone with their echoes in my head. Then they would stand on joints that had straightened and limbs that grew bones over me as I slept. They would only leave me after I woke and asked them, told them to go. Later they would sit on my bed to stroke my hair and touch my face with long fingernails, hands, unkempt nails scraping my skin without breaking it. And all the while they told me the things I had done, the ways I had hurt, the ways I would hurt or fall or break myself, my family, my friends, every empty cruelty committed throughout the course of my day, every little failing carried like dirt, like blood under my fingernails. These terribles hissed into my dreaming ears. How they petted my cheek and caressed my face, and now they have slipped between my sheets. They lay against me to my right and my left, my bedfellows. They are long and muscular with human flesh and human faces, fear and doubt. Their arms and legs are strong around me when we tie our bodies into knots. Hot lips suck down my throat while hands grapple at my breast, while palms plump at my tender curves, and I am...
Please give a big round of applause for Jonathan Anderson. I have lived many lives. When I was little, I picked up a book and started reading. It was another world to me, another life.
someone else's life I was living through my own eyes. I was there when Alice fell down the rabbit hole, and when Frodo threw the ring into the Eye of Sauron. I was on the front lines at the Battle of Hogwarts, and I was in the same room when Frankenstein's monster sprung to life. These books became life to me. These stories told seeped into my mind, blurring out the reality I was living. I saw the Doctor change faces 12 times and the destruction of Gallifrey. I saw different captains command the Enterprise, and Spock died because the needs of the many outweighed the needs of the few. I attended the Red Wedding and saw and latched on to Dean's feet as he ripped him out of purgatory. These fictitious events became historical events to me. These tales became my tales. These lives, my lives. I felt the pain as Bane broke the little bat's back, and when Doomsday killed the Man of Steel. I fought dragons in Skyrim. I watched the destruction of the Death Star safely from the Millennium Falcon and screamed, "No!" when Darth Vader revealed he was Luke's father. These stories are mine, and I've been ridiculed for believing them. My name is Geek, Nerd, all because these stories resonated with me in some way. They showed me that friends are hard to come by, but real friends stay with you at the edge of the earth when it is on fire. They taught us that good can be hideous, but evil could be drop-dead gorgeous. And that everything is not as what it seems. And that everything that you listen to, watch, read about, they're all stories told from someone's views, and yet we ridicule these people for liking them. So don't sit there and tell me that you're not excited for the mass-budgeted superhero flick tonight, or that the Transformers that you had a child, you're not excited to see them on the silver screen this summer. Or that you listened to the new Beyonce album 200 times already, and that you bought tickets to Fall Out Boys just to hear them tell stories through their songs. These stories and tales are our own, and just told through different perspectives. We shouldn't be demeaned because our stories resonate with someone else's lives.
Alright, please welcome our next performer to the stage. Give it up to Amanda Hill!
You smell like sex and violence, which was a song you liked to sing while pulling on your ratty jeans and getting off your naked mattress pressed into the floor, pushing aside a loaded shotgun partially hidden by pornography of girls who looked like living coloring books because they were your fantasy. Girls would appreciate the art you carved into skin for a living, but would still f*** you into the oblivion he craved. He reeked of old English because he saw a picture of an aging rock star with a wilting mohawk clutching one once, and he wasn't sure if his rebel license would be revoked if he was caught clutching something else. He crushed his cigarettes inside the empty bottles and put it on display like modern art for the decaying crowd. They'd remove their monocles framed with spikes and comment on how nouveau cool it is. I'm lying beneath the sheets, arms behind my head, enjoying the view one last time. You carefully carved yourself into the spitting image of zero control, and I have to admire your handiwork. Your heart looks exactly like Sid Vicious's corpse. Just the smell of rot has finally broken through the fog of Axe spray. When I was 14, my boyfriend's name was Holden Caulfield, so I was doomed from the second I knew you were damaged. Your father beat you? Oh, baby, say it slow. You punch out headlights when the pain strikes? Oh, yes. Of course I want to see the baseball bat you keep by the front door. Of course I want to try on your brass knuckles. You taking me to the top of a blocked-out parking garage with bottles to throw to the alley. Why, it's the new dinner in a movie. A middle-class girl who grew up horny for adventure is already dying to see the other side of the tracks. You just put it through some fashionably scented glasses. You wanted to be so pretty, vacant. But that was us all over, wasn't it? You were the Sex Pistols, but I was the Ramones. Joey Ramone snacked on pizza while Sid Vicious gorged on heroin. And while you were busy touching yourself, thinking of the sexy corpse you'd leave at 22, I was doing the Cretan hop and the Blitzkrieg bop. Whenever you started preaching anarchy in the UK and nihilism in the brain, I just wanted to be sedated. So, while you pull your hair up in the mirror as close to heaven as you'll ever feel, I lace my boots scuffed with misadventure and smirk at the rotting house I leave behind. I'll keep the raging sounds and the glorious noise fury we knew and return the person who stole the fun from the scene by burning it with cigarettes. You were just an experiment when I was too high on the distortion setting.
Please welcome the next performer to the stage, Devin Collins!
What's going on, yo? I just want to start by confessing that I stole this hat from an ex-girlfriend in Milwaukee because she would not give my Night of the Living Dead DVD back. My poem is called Side Effects. I've spent years training my body to be the body of others. For my voice to speak the speech of a life never lived, I have yearned to evoke emotion with my movements and cause revolution with the words on a page. I impersonate to create, and I replicate my speech night after night, cause I've played more barnyard animals than you can shake a duck at. And after 60 performances of a show, it gets real hard to let go. So man, I'm telling you what, there's no time to waste. You gotta file that shit away and move on to the next and await the day that the character comes back to you like a real badass acid trip. It's a side effect clearly labeled on the side of every theater kid. May get weird. So, when faced with the situation of society's expectation of the simplest response possible from me, the light switch clicks on and the normative is gone. But there's no warning system. Like the zombie apocalypse, all you can do is be prepared for the bomb to drop. Now, in any given situation, I might talk to you like I'm from Brooklyn, but most likely, it'll be Ireland. Because the Collins family tried and true. So, I may be a little weird, a little off, a little wonky. But that's because I grew up in a world where you aren't sure if your dad's gonna survive the night. Where divorce is a word, that means your parents don't have to fight. When you're so emotionally distant and cut off, and when your finest meal of the day comes from the dumpster of a Panera Bread. Well, at least you got performance. So, as I leave the stage with the mic securely fastened in its stand, I want you all to remember that I ended this poem #Whack'nSlammed.
All right, please welcome your next performer, Kelsey Merritt.
Hey guys. How are y'all doing? So this poem requires a little bit of an introduction. So I've never been a big spicy food eater. That's just kind of the way I was raised. My parents really don't cook a lot of spicy food. So I tried this salsa the other day, and it's like habanero salsa. And I'm like, I can handle this. I was wrong. You've ever had habaneros before? They're like the spiciest peppers that are legal in America. So, I'm sitting there, and just hot, and it's just like, can't do anything about it. And just like, I can't, taste anything. So when I do this next poem, I want you to think about peppers. You bother me. Not like in a popcorn kernel in your teeth kind of way, or a person attempting veganism for 24 hours kind of way. No! You bother me in an itch I can't scratch sort of way. In a craving I just can't name kind of way. And wasabi on your tongue, habanero on your lips, knowing that the heat is spreading through your veins, and in a moment it's going to be too much to handle. But right now, the sensation is just hot. Kind of low. Your eye contact is like frying bacon, like and sizzle and delicious. Or like something I'd like to wake up to in the morning. Listening to you talk is like listening to a real chatty waiter. Like, I know exactly what I want, but I'm gonna be polite and listen. Sometimes it's worth wanting something, even if you can't have it. So, being bothered has its difficulties with appropriateness and timing. Like food fights, like day drinking. It's not exactly illegal, but I'd like to think it's acceptable. Kind of like brunch, where anything goes. But instead of ordering or eating or acting, I'll just sit here hot and bothered. Because sometimes being bothered is the most delicious feeling of all. Sometimes some people like it hot.
Please give a warm welcome to Shakira Muhammad.
You got this, girl? This is called To My Boyfriend with a Lot of Love. You are exasperating. My first world problem. You're the Oreo that I dropped in my milk and had to scoop up with sausage fingers, only to watch you become soggy, crumbling under the weight of your own arrogance. You're the trusty Dr. Pepper that I just bought at the gas station, and after first purchasing, my mouth watered at the sight of you. I just couldn't wait to hear the sound you made when I twisted your cap off. But after leaving you in the car on a hot summer day, you roll across my feet like a beacon of hope when I was dying of thirst, ready to be ravished with a feeling that can only be described as refreshed. But you came up flat. The carbonation that made you sizzle and pop had evaporated in the sun, leaving you boring and completely unsatisfying. You are my refrigerator at the end of the month. I'm caught eyeing you from across the room, checking you out every 30 minutes, hoping and praying that something is appetizing, that something has changed, but everything about you is the same. And I realize that you only have something to offer when I fill you up first. And even then, the results are disappointing. And I figure that's not really fair to me. I try not to be too picky, but a girl wants what a girl wants. And right now, you're kind of like my almost broken phone charger, and I'm not really willing to hold you up so that you can barely fill my battery. You're more like a short blanket barely covering my feet, making my toes curl only because I'm just so damn uncomfortable. Yet, I keep you around, bending over backwards, just so that you can use me as a convenience. A coffee table that you put drinks on, leaving my hardwood stained with your carelessness. You may be sweet as Splenda, but doesn't that give you cancer? My mother taught me to starve a cold and feed a fever, but she also told me to stay humble and don't be a cheater. So consider this my farewell. You may think I'll never be able to find another man, but honestly, if you can't please me, I know someone who can.
Please welcome Stacia Kendrick.
The mirror of judgment, the hindrance of judgment. When revealed, it floods the real. Listen, take heed. My people, listen, take heed. Judgment is prophesized, the revolution is televised. If I told you the real, you couldn't deal. Falsified hopes, the weight of steel. Vindictive drugs and pedestal thugs as if they were sent from above. Money, Crips and Bloods, where the is the love? Money, cars and clothes, it all looks good when we riding on foes. Little black girls and boys weep behind closed doors. On a roller coaster ride with every high balancing each low. And with so many weeping, worthless brides, how can she ever believe she's worth more than a flow? Listen, take heed. My people, listen, take heed. Girls and boys walling off of midnight sober. When I was young, all I knew was Red Rover, Red Rover. As generations passed, Clyde was literally coming over. Minds and bodies exploited and invaded, tossed around, I hate it. Drunken junkies prowl the street, crossing every hooker on corners waiting to meet. Baby mamas filling welfare seats. Listen, take heed. I'ma put it like this. Religion, race, sexuality. For serenity is manifested with prosperity. For I am manifested in you. So listen, take heed, eat your bread as I hand it to you.
Please welcome the next performer to the stage, Devin Collins. What's going on, yo? I'm doing fine. Who said that? I hope you are having a delightful evening. This one is called Comic Books. I am waiting for a mutation. A top secret super soldier serum to be accidentally exposed to radioactive waste. However it happens, I'm still waiting for my superpowers. And you know, I know what you guys are all thinking. Devin, you gotta get out of your mother's basement. But I should probably hide the comics under the bed and probably find a Maxim for the coffee table. But if I took you to my house now, you would find the following. Issues of Uncanny X-Men, the entirety of Transmetropolitan, Longshot, Sandman, Walking Dead Fables, and Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. So if you, a stranger, asks me, why do you keep these graphic novels amongst all of this higher literature? Well, you know what? I might not tell you that I secretly might be a superhero. But, you know, look around. Whole blocks, whole neighborhoods emitting an ominous blue glow. When entire school art budgets are eradicated, the radio stations worldwide broadcasting the same 7 songs. And if that is not some Lex Luthor bullshit, I don't know what is. So remember Batman, godfather of goth. His frame from Frank's Gospel Inc. is proof that it can be hot to be dark. As long as you have an alter ego and a costume. Remember Wolverine, motherfucking meat grinder. Reminder, if you're gonna spend 3 decades plus pining over unrequited love, and you still call yourself a badass, it is not a bad idea to ride a motorcycle and have adamantium claws. So, hang on to whatever hopes and heroes that you have brought this far in your life, because we're gonna need every single one of you dreamers if the next generation is ever gonna find a reason to believe. Please welcome to the stage our next performer, keeping it hot, Kelsey Merritt.
She is entitlement. Heal her. She's a fool of society obsessed with convincing me that they are really, truly hungry. Feed her. She starts slowly. Her culture is learned in grade school alongside ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Your children's first words will be about body image. She teaches them that food is about everything except hunger. She's present every time parents use the line, there's a starving child in Africa. There's a starving child on Johnson Street that would appreciate the fries you waste, the leftovers you don't take. Her image is burned onto your retina. You never fully appreciate the vision of a full table, of excess, of leftovers, of so much food around your person. Real hunger is a locked out shadow of an idea. All you can eat buffets are commonplace. All you can eat buffets are commonplace. Built on the corners of everyday USA. Poor diet is ordinary, exercise is extreme, but what really matters is having the body of our dreams. She is media believer, magazine redeemer, and the perfect impression of the Holy Ghost of perfection. Do not doubt her reach. Do not challenge her ability. You can see her. You can hear her. You can feel her. She is consuming you.
All right, please welcome to the stage, Shakira Muhammad.
Middle school nickname, Fat Girl. Never gonna be as skinny as that girl. That fat girl had skinny friends because she surrounded herself with people who she thought was beautiful, then maybe she could convince them that she was beautiful too. That fat girl, she lost weight, but her friends lost more and looked better, so nobody ever really noticed. That fat girl, excuse me, I'm actually on a diet right now. Hold on. Hi, can I get a number 2 dry with cheese, large size with fries, extra ketchup? Okay, yeah. That fat girl heard whispers while she was on the elliptical. That fat girl realized that it was the whispers of her thighs as they apologized for bumping into each other so much. Excuse me. That fat girl's size does not understand the words thigh gap. That fat girl heard, if you don't like your body, change it, but that fat girl also heard that a pig is still a pig no matter how much you paint it, so that fat girl ate her feelings. Specifically at Golden Corral, because you could eat 3 plates and not feel bad because, I didn't pay $15 for 1 plate and it's a buffet and I just didn't have enough for a salad. That fat girl, her insecurities dwelled inside of her head, but for some reason that never stopped her from craving that garlic bread. That fat girl didn't dare touch her stomach. That fat girl, lights off, eyes closed, clothes on. That fat girl eating disorder for 3 years, but unsuccessful, believe it. That fat girl can't wear skinny jeans, short skirts, short shorts, leggings, crop tops, or swimsuits, but finally that fat girl said, "F that." That fat girl got tired of being sad and was ready to be mad at everyone who made her feel less. That fat girl started to dress however the f she wanted to dress. That fat girl, fatter attitude, fatter personality, and fatter heart. That fat girl, lights on, eyes open, clothes off, stomach showing, legs out, and comfortable. That fat girl, confident. That fat girl, she forgave. That fat girl, that fabulous fat girl, won.
Welcome the final performer for the semi-round. Give it up for Diana McGreen.
Now I just have to to warn everybody, I just wrote this today, so it's on a notepad, so it's a little dark up here for the performers, so I'm going to have to read it to the side, so I apologize. This poem is called #food porn. There is something about food that just puts me in the mood, and I won't apologize if that seems crude just because society has fed you some that says women can't have a sexual appetite. Is it wrong for me to say that just because, just like you, I want my cake and to eat it too? Here's some food for thought. According to your scripture, I was made of Adam's rib, but I say, that, hand me a bib, because I'm taking my body back, body back, body back. I'm taking my body back, body back, body back. When I walked into this bar, I said, bottoms up. I like this batch and I'm ready to put it down my hatch. I came hungry and ready to devour this happy hour. With eyes bigger than my stomach, what I see on display is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Did you just hear a microwave go ding? Because this lady has a personal hot pocket that's starting to steam. I'm screaming, where's the beef? I want a Whopper that takes 2 hands to hold. I want something, someone I could barely fit in my mouth. Something I will artichoke on. Today I think I will double my pleasure and double my fun. The way I see it, there's always room for H-E-L-L-O. What is your name? Later on, if you're lucky, I might just say I'm happy you Frosted Flakes isn't the only thing that's going to bring out the tiger in you. Don't worry, I'll tell you just what to do, how many licks it takes to get to this center, because I'm ready to melt in your mouth and not in your hand. It isn't Quaker, but maybe Holland Oats that might have given you some sort of warning, some sort of clue that I'm a man-eater and I'm looking right at you. What's that, ladies? You don't like the way I think? This isn't your cup of tea? You're on a sexual diet and you don't want to try it? Well, that's great, because that just means more from me. Now don't be confused by the words that I choose. It isn't an In-N-Out drive-thru. Let's slow it down and have some fun, because I'm ready to think outside the bun. If you're a guy looking at me thinking, I think I'll call her butter because she looks like she spreads easy, well then you ain't the fella to please me. And if you come at me trying to screw, then I promise you, you just bit off more than you can chew.
Are your finalists for tonight. Starting us off will be Stacia Kendrick. She will be followed by Dirty Diana. And our final performer for the evening will be Amanda Hill. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready to do this? All right. Please give a warm, warm welcome for Stacia Kendrick.
I love you. I hate you. I love you. It's a thin line between love and hate. I guess my life was too good. I needed a thrill. The thrill crept into my life as if I had walked through a field of poison ivy. Hives flooded in my body. Resentment. Resentment was like that gas leak that finally exploded, full of anger and hate. With every time I see your face, flashbacks upon flashbacks upon flashbacks of you hitting my mother replayed over and over and over in my head. Why? So do you love her or do you not? As if I was in love, taking a gamble with every rose petal. Instead, I gambled my sanity. Love began to slowly degrade in my mind, and I couldn't help but to mine. I thought, how can one love but abuse a love that caught you at the drop of a dime? Shaking my damn head as the thought of a dirty laying next to you in bed paints itself in my mind. and I can't help but to mind. You hurt my mom, and she will forever be my spine, my backbone. I will forever be her own. May 5th, 2009, the day you left, in my mind, you was forever gone. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Song from the Temptations became my hate song. I began to believe things would never be the same, and when you was dead and gone, I would be nothing but alone. But I had to learn, to each is his own. And though this path involved me, I had to realize it was not my own.
Give it up for Stacey Kendrick, y'all. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone. I just like repeating people's lines. That's really what I do. That's my thing. Judges, can I get your scores, please? All right. We got an 8.9. We got a 9. We got another 9. We got a 9.6. And we got another 9.6. Give it up for Stacey Kendrick. The other thing I want to remind y'all of, so just so you know, with the finals, basically the way that we do this is we tabulate all of the poet's scores to the prelims, the semis, and the finals. So one poem won't destroy you, one poem won't boost you. It's cumulative, all right? Y'all ready for this next poet? All right. Please give a warm welcome for Diana McGreen.
So nervous. Like the improvisation of a jazz ensemble, communal words come over me to form meanings to my memories. Society's performative participants provide a swell of mental activity, a multi-vocality that creates a sound similar to a harmonizing symphony in my mind. This performance is the artistic activity that creates my socially constructed reality. I now doubt my own vocabulary because those in the privileged position of power over me have defined the words, the notes that I put together as melody, sentences that I now call my own original thoughts. It's a polyphonic concert, a composition of concepts, a percussion of utterances from a liminal space and time that become my solo performance. Shared synthesized sounds of social construction penetrate to form the phenomenon of me, oh my own personality, a dynamic interplay. I now have the anticipation of the complexity of causation, of encapsulation of structured systems, whispering sweet, contradicting nothings, somethings in my ear. Is the intimacy of you, me, and society that creates this meta-theory. Exploding episodes of evolution creates this philosophy, the propelling force of history. It's a process of communication. Its interpretation integrates and implicates public transformation, pacing to the rhythm of a postmodern life. It's a disorienting destiny, a misconception of certainty that I could ever know the real me. There are inexhaustible possibilities of self-fulfilling prophecy that this and every one of my monologues comes from a dominant dialogue. I observe your practices, your rituals, and scripts, and let me not misrepresent the essence of this relationship by saying that institutionalized cannot be spelled without I. I consent to the co-creation of this culture, to the community that creates my creativity. It is the consequence to a sequence of events, collective memory.
All right, pop and lock, y'all. Pop and lock. I can't dance. I'm not even pretending I can dance. Judges, can I please get your scores? All right, we got an 8. Y'all were late on that boo. That was a poorly timed boo. We have an 8.5. We have another 8.5. We have another 8.5. And we have a 9.3. Give it up for Diana McGreen. All right, our final performer for the evening. Please give a warm welcome for Amanda Hill.
Towards the end of the poem, I'm gonna go like this, and it'll look really cool if anybody holding a drink will do this too, or if you don't have one, just do this. I don't care. Yeah, you got it. You got this. But not now. If life is a Greek mythology, my freshly single friend tells me, it seems like I've been falling for too many Zeuses, gods of thunder. Well, I'm sick of thunder rattling in my chest. No, the time has come. I'm running off with Dionysus, god of wine. Now, this is not her first heavenly host of hazy visions and dull decisions. Regretibus, god of tequila. Well, he was that one-night stand who looked so good smirking under the Technicolor amusement park of bar lights, but made her need to burn the sheets and all her skin off come dirty, dank, dry mouth morning on the kitchen floor. Impulsivity, goddess of vodka. Well, they were like the buddies, the sheetmates, the sure thing. No romance, just pure libido. The firewater warmth when her bed felt much too cold. Dehydrate, god of Captain Morgan's coconut rum. Well, it was a stable relationship, she said, but it always felt like friends. No, like blood brother pirates. Like adventures in commandeered ships of crusty knives pressing against our skin, pushing them until they pump bloody partnership. But there were no mysteries in our mouths. There was no need to see what each other was holding in the stronghold of our ships. But wine, she says, that's the romance. The post-party apocalyptic apartment party where you're fumbling words and syntaxes because words are hard. Until you find that favorite song that gives your tongue something to share. Oh, she says, wine is that frenetic atom splitting, like you're trying to start a fire with your body sex, where you're half clothed, but it feels like everything's off. Sleeves and skin, ties and tissue, bones exposed and rubbing raw, sparking the mattress, setting the whole damn house on fire. Wine, she says, it's also long drives past dark windows. Letters in the box beneath the bed still after all these years. Wine is straight to voicemail. The dial tone, the long drive home alone. She says, wine is sweeter almost because the way it burns. So, holding her glass, like a torch for the weary masses inside her chest, she says, there's no more room in my chest left for thunder, just a small space saved in my liver. Romance!
Amanda Hill, give it up, please. All right, judges, let me see your scores. All right, we got a 9. We got another 9. We got a 9.7. We got a 9.8. And we got a 10. You gotta show everybody here, but no. George, should we have just Amanda's score there? We got a 28.5 for Amanda Hill. Give it up one more time, y'all. So, can I please see our third place finalist? with a 76.7, Diana McGrean.
Oh, and I didn't even know it.
For Diana in third place, we have this wonderful, beautiful Coleman Barks, the soul of Rumi. Does anybody out there know Rumi? Rumi is like an ancient Sufi poet. He's like the first amazing poet. So y'all haven't read Rumi?
Hell yeah!
In second place, with an 81.2, give it up for Stacia Kendrick. For Stacia, we have this beautiful Set the Shotgun to the Head, which is a Saul Williams book. He's an amazing, phenomenal poet. If you haven't read it, please do.
Thank y'all for listening.
And again, if y'all enjoyed what you saw tonight, you're interested in doing this, please enroll in the performance studies classes, advanced performance studies. This is what we do, this is how we move. So hopefully in the future we can do this again here at the Penny Pub. That would be absolutely amazing. So your final number one person with a score of 84.5, give it up for Amanda.